Dictionary.com defines fur in three ways. 1. The fine, soft, hairy coat of a mammal. 2. The skin of certain animals, such as the beaver, ermine, or mink, covered with such a coat, used in making garments or trimming. Or 3. A garment made of fur. So what's the big deal with fur? I think we all are aware that fur use is a contentious issue. There's basically two sides, those who are against its use and those who are for its use. Very few people are in the middle. They usually fall on one side or the other. So why should you care? Chances are that you or someone you know is very for or against the use of fur. Through my research, I have found three main arguments against and three main arguments for the use of fur. The arguments against the use of fur are that it's cruel, it's exploitative, and it's unnecessary. The arguments for the use of fur are that it's natural, it's an excellent insulator, and it's a renewable resource. So let's look at the arguments against the use of fur. The first argument is that it's cruel. One of the most well-known anti-fur organizations is PETA, People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals. Their claim is that animals on fur farms spend their entire lives in cages. They're cramped and filthy. Fur farmers use the most inexpensive methods and cruelest methods of killing the animals for fur. This includes suffocation, electrocution, gas, and poison. They maintain that the use of fur should be stopped on these grounds. Another argument against the use of fur is that it's exploitative. The Humane Society International, in an article by an unknown author, states, people working in the fur trade are simply in it to make money. And this causes needless animal deaths, and it's wrong to profit off of that. A third argument against the use of fur is that it's unnecessary. There's actually two parts to this claim. One is that there are many alternatives to the use of fur. This includes petroleum-based materials, such as polyester, and it also includes things like faux fur, if you want the look without the cruelty of killing an animal. Another side of it being unnecessary is that it's all due to the demands of the fashion industry. The Coalition to Abolish the Fur Trade on their website has a quote from fashion designer Ola Cassini. He said, "Animals continue to be used and needlessly slaughtered to satisfy the demands of the fashion industry and of thoughtless people who themselves are entrapped by thoughtless fashion." So now we have seen arguments against the use of fur. Let's take a look at some of the arguments made for the use of fur. Some of the arguments for the use of fur are that it's natural, it's an excellent insulator, and it's renewable. Fur is natural. The Fur Information Council of America, on their website, state that fur is a beneficial product provided by nature. In an unknown article on their website, they state, fur is a natural fiber and hence naturally durable. It can be recycled, updated, and restyled time and time again. A second argument made for the use of fur is that it is an excellent insulator. One of the main reasons for wearing fur has always been to keep warm. Why is this? The Optical Society, on their website, republished a paper by P. Simonis that shows how this is accomplished. Basically, in the article, they state that the hairs scatter light radiation, which heats up the air trapped in between the hairs. This is how the fur keeps you warm. It's similar to if you're outside on a winter day but the sun is shining, the top of your head will heat up. Same concept. A third argument for the use of fur is that it's a renewable resource. Ruth Stokes, in an article on theecologist.org, states that fur is not made from petroleum products like most synthetic fibers. and thus is biodegradable. So the argument against its use was that there are other options. The argument for is that these other options are not biodegradable and they actually pollute the environment, whereas fur completely biodegrades. Now we are aware of some of the arguments for the use of fur and against the use of fur. In conclusion, you have heard how contentious an issue the use of fur is. There are arguments against and for its use. Some of the arguments against its use are that it is cruel, it's exploitative, and it's unnecessary. Some of the arguments for its use are that it's natural, it's an excellent insulator, and it's a renewable resource. Now, these aren't all the arguments for or against the use of fur, but these are some of just the main ones that I found to help give you a better understanding about the issue. I want you to be able to make an informed opinion before you make any decision.